Warning, this video contains super awesome content not suitable for people who don't enjoy super awesomeness.
Alright, hello and how the hell are you guys? Welcome back to the Greasy Paint channel with me, Kenny K, the channel where we do wet-on-wet landscapes and alla prima portraits using oil paints. But today I thought we would do something different and I would present to you my top 10 memorable and most favorite painting scenes in movies and TV. So given the fact that I'm a big fan of painting and pop culture and also being an actor myself, I thought this would be a great topic to make a video about, don't you think?
No.
So you can all put your brushes down for today, grab the popcorn instead as I dive into the video. Ow! So before we begin, I have to ask that you all please hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos, paint-alongs, and tutorials doing the wet-on-wet technique with oils. And also, I do want to say that these scenes are not necessarily in any specific order or rank, just simply 10 scenes that come to mind when I think about paintings in the movies and on TV. But if you haven't seen any of these movies or TV shows, this video does contain spoilers, so be sure to check out the list of media I placed in the description below before watching this video if you don't want to be spoiled. Now, let's get to that number one. So I first saw this movie when I was a kid and loved it. Our proton-packed heroes go up against Vigo, the 17th century Moldavian tyrant in a haunted painting. I love this scene because there were some parts that actually scared me as a child. So to see the original Ghostbusters defeat the big bad guy in the end was satisfying to say the least. I'd also like to point out how underrated and funny actor Peter MacNicol is as Janos, which brings me to my next video. So around the same age, I was a fan of the original British comedy of Mr. Bean starring Rowan Atkinson. So when I heard that they were making a movie, I asked my grandparents to take me to see the film. And you can tell, Rowan Atkinson and Peter MacNicol have great on-screen chemistry and comedic timing together. But the scene that really makes me laugh my ass off is when Mr. Bean shows Peter MacNicol's character David the destroyed painting of Whistler's mother.
Oh, Jesus! Oh, God! Oh, Jesus! God! Oh, Mary, Mother of Jesus! Jesus of Nazareth!
That scene is so hysterical, I actually sampled that same clip in one of my paint-along videos, which you can now find in episode 9 of season 2 of my playlist. Or you can click the upper right-hand corner right now if you're watching on your phone, laptop, or computer to check it out.
No, I don't think I will.
Okay, so I loved this show. Unfortunately, I had grown up as an only child and always wanted brothers, so this show spoke to me and showed me how fun it must be to have siblings like that. In episode 14 of season 2, titled Hal Quits, the great Bryan Cranston, who plays Hal, the dad, paints on a huge canvas in the garage as a result of a mental breakdown and existential crisis. He spends a fortune on supplies and just ends up throwing so many amounts of mediums between oils, acrylics, and cans of house paint onto the canvas. 500 gallons of paint to be exact. Throughout the episode, he struggles to get the artistic vision from his mind onto the canvas. So much so that he begins to go crazy, all the while dragging the whole family down with his obsession.
Fine! You want him to see me finish it? I'll finish it! Up a little bit here, huh? How about there? How about there?
Until the very end, when he finally gets it right, only for the canvas to come falling down and break apart right onto him as a result of the weight of all the paint that was on there. Now, I love this episode because I think it's so relatable as an artist to have a vision in your mind, and then when you attempt to create it on the canvas, it can sometimes be frustrating when it doesn't turn out the way you want. But that's what the episode is really all about. The undertones that tie into the broader narrative of life and family, which is what really matters at the end of the day, as well as the fact that even if we're not satisfied with a painting, the point is, we gotta tread on. Now, I'm not gonna lie, Batman is my favorite superhero, and when I saw this movie as a kid, I was blown away. I think this movie single-handedly got me interested in comic books, which is why I paint a lot of portraits of such characters. This particular Batman movie holds a special place in my heart because it was part of my childhood. But the scene I want to talk about in this movie is the museum scene with the Joker vandalizing all the artwork while dancing to a song by Prince. Him and his goons are just going crazy, throwing paint everywhere and destroying the place. Now personally, I'd never do that, of course, unless we're talking about the MoMA or the exhibits where people put a pair of glasses on the corner and that's called art. Yet real creators like myself who make works like this are barely getting by.
Let me hear you say, that ain't right.
That ain't right.
Well, moving on.
She's been through so much.
Okay, now coming in next, we have a music video. And due to the content, it's probably best to say that if you're watching with children around, consider this your disclaimer.
Don't let your kids watch it!
This is a music video by New York-based hip-hop artist Intel. The concept of a love song presented by getting intimate with body paint. Done very tasteful, and the lyrics are brilliant. Intel is a very talented songwriter who's been in the business of making music for a while now. I'll leave all the links to his content below in the description. Now, the reason why this is one of my favorites could be because I'm biased, especially since it was directed by yours truly.
What?
Yep, I actually discussed this in the previous full-length painting of mine in the Season 2 finale right here on Kenny's Greasy Paint. And this is what artists and friends do. They support each other and promote each other's work, but also because I'm genuinely proud of my work and I do sincerely like the song. So once again, be sure to check out more information in the description below, or click the upper right-hand corner right now and it'll take you right to the video. Now, speaking of raunchy content, coming in next, we have a scene from an early 2000s teen movie, which is a spoof of a bunch of teen movies. As a matter of fact, the movie is called Not Another Teen Movie. Tyler Lay's character plays a high school art student named Jamie, and as she gets more and more frustrated expressing her feelings on the canvas, this is what we end up with after all that. I mean, that's just comedy to me. And I also may still have a crush on Tyler Lay, so Tyler Lay, if you're watching this. Now, speaking of teen movies, this would also be a good time to bring up a classic. Ralph Macchio and Pat Morita play one of the best on-screen duos in movie cinema. And the painting scene I love in this film is where Danny is tasked to paint the fence and the house of Mr. Miyagi. And yet, it's part of his karate training. And at first, it seems like this old Japanese man is extorting Danny for child labor. But lo and behold, we find out that Daniel's son is indeed karate training when it's all revealed how the manual labor comes together. I mean, you gotta wonder how many kids went home after seeing that movie and started willingly doing their chores thinking they were going to become a martial arts master. So, up next, we have... Okay, if you have seen this weird, over-the-top, creepy, and absolutely bonkers of a dark comedy, you have to let me know in the comments below. This film stars Josephine Burns, the great Hugo Weaving, and Phil Collins. Yes, that Phil Collins. In this wacky, zany, what the actual film, Mr. Susudio himself plays a highly intelligent insurance inspector who suspects the latest case he's working on from a married couple is fraud. But Phil's character as the inspector, Roland Coupling, is quite the odd duck due to his childhood trauma, resulting in pranks on innocent people, having the mentality of a young child, and the mysterious significance of the dice that he always has. Phil Collins plays the character with a strange, creepy-like manner throughout the film. I can safely say his acting is up there with performances like Jim Carrey and Robin Williams. But as he discovers that the claim made by Jonathan and Beth Weitz is indeed fraudulent, he begins to extort, harass, and torment the couple. So much so that they start having nightmares about him, which brings me to the painting scene. See, Beth is a painter, and in a nightmare scene, they dream about throwing up a fork and one of her paintings coming to life to kill them with a crossbow.
What? That's crazy!
Yeah, like I said, creepy, weird, and what the actual in the air tonight is going on. Seriously, check this movie out if you can find it. I actually think it's still free on YouTube if you search for it, but you didn't hear that from me.
I didn't say nothing.
So up next, we have this biopic starring the beautiful Salma Hayek as the real-life historical artist Frida Kahlo tells the story of art, love, passion, and tragedy, as well as struggle, and her marriage with fellow historical artist Diego Rivera, played brilliantly by veteran actor Alfred Molina. But one of my absolute favorite scenes in this movie is in the very beginning, where we see Frida bedridden due to her injuries from a traffic accident on a bus. But in comes her father with a canvas on an easel ready to go for her. If you haven't seen this movie, I highly recommend it because this scene shows that with the right support of family and loved ones, you can do anything, and they can help you out of the toughest times and quite literally back on your feet. But really, it's the real-life Frida Kahlo herself that makes this movie great. And if you're not familiar with such a historical figure, I highly recommend doing some research on her. She wasn't just a talented oil painter whose works reflected and represented what she felt during the stages of her life, but a wonderful and inspirational human being and a blessing to strong, independent females all around.
You know, he had this painting of me in his house. I was all dressed up like a general.
I heard about that.
Now last but certainly not least, all you Sopranos fans probably know what scene I'm gonna bring up.
You know what it does to me? To be reminded of that horse?
I'm sorry, T.
That's right, the infamous painting of Tony and his horse, Pyomai. Or should I say, the refurbished painting of Tony and his horse, commissioned by Paulie Walnuts himself, having Tony looking like a lawn jockey.
That's not a lawn jockey. That's a general.
This scene is pure comedy gold. The sincerity of Paulie actually wanting and admiring a painting of someone he respects, and Tony takes it the wrong way. Not that I blame him, but it's just funny how he doesn't get it. I mean, just visit the scene on YouTube and read the comments section. It's one of the most memorable and funny moments throughout the entire series, and great performances by the late actors Tony Sirico and the great late James Gandolfini. Well folks, there it is, my top 10 painting scenes in movies and TV in no particular order. Now, if you've enjoyed the video or agree with any of my picks, please discuss in the comments below if you're a fan, or if there is a painting scene in a TV show or a film that comes to your mind and I haven't mentioned it, leave a comment and maybe recommend it to me. And if I get enough suggestions, I might make a follow-up to this video with 10 more painting scenes. So make sure you're subscribed and following me on all platforms because there will be more painting content. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, keep your dreams high and your pompadours in the sky. Let's paint together.